A very good day to you. This is, of course, the Chat Up with me, Jamie, right here on Relax Radio. Hope you are having yourself an amazing, amazing day so far. And if you're not, well, then don't worry, because we are here to make sure that you have the best possible day. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. And if you want to say hi to me, or if you want to say hi to any of us, or have a conversation with us about what we're talking about, we'd absolutely love to hear from you. All you got to do is connect with us on our social media, that is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, because we go as Relax Radio, and we'd absolutely love to hear from you. Now, with that being said, for today, I have some very interesting things to talk about with you. They are going to help you with your everyday life. They're going to help you identify yourself better. So, if you want to know more, all you got to do is make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio. Now, with that being said, before I move on to some very interesting topics of discussion, I want to show you something, a little something about what we do here at Relax Radio. Go ahead and take a look. All right, with that being said, we have some very interesting things coming up. But before that, I do want to talk about something that is going to help you with your everyday life, something that is going to help you live a more meaningful life that is filled with happiness and filled with joy. And one thing I do want to talk about is I feel like, when we scroll our social media, when we read motivational articles and posts, we're often told, you need to do these things in order to be happy, or you need to do these things in order to achieve joy. But one thing I feel like we are not quite often told are things that we should avoid in order to feel happy, things that we should avoid that steal our joy. And that's the thing that I want to talk to you about today. I want to help you figure out some things that you need to avoid in order to find true happiness and find true joy. Now, okay, according to my personal opinion, I believe that there are two things that keeps us away from true happiness. There are two things that keeps us away from finding our true joy. And the first is that we focus on little trivial things that make us worry. We focus on things that are not important, that causes a lot of worry and stress and anxiety. And the second thing is that we fail to focus on things that are going to make us happy. Little things like family, little things like the sunset. I know we tend to not focus on these little things that can actually bring us joy, and we focus on the wrong things, and that causes us a lot of stress and anxiety and depression. Now, okay, so one thing that I think is actually very interesting is that I want you to ask yourself a question. Is there even one single day where you have absolutely no worries, where you have no troubles, where you're not stressed out whatsoever? And I know for a fact you're going to say there's very rarely days where you don't go by without worrying about a single thing. But if I ask you, are there any days where you go without any happiness, where you go without a single moment of joy? You would say, yeah, definitely. There have been days where I haven't felt any happiness at all. So what I want to try to figure out together with you is, why can't we be happy 24 hours a day? Why can't we be joyful? Why can't we be stress and worry free? And I think the answer to this comes from the fact that we have already decided that we cannot go ahead without worry or tension a single day. We have made sorrow and grief a part of our life. And the height is that you can pass a whole day without happiness, but you can't find a single day without some worry in it. And I think, see, at the end of the day, we work so hard to get more things every single day. But with how much work we're putting in order to acquire physical treasures and acquire cash and money and assets, I feel like our level of happiness is also gradually going down. Now, why do you think, another question, okay? Why do you think you were so much more happier as a child? Why do you think life was so much easier when you were a child? And I think that's simply because we had so much less things to worry about, right? We weren't chasing this society standards of perfect. We weren't chasing some a materialistic goal almost. And that's why we were so much more happier than when we were kids. Now, I want to share with you, keep all of this aside. What I want to do today is share with you a few things that you can do or you can avoid in order to be happy. Or I want you to avoid these few things because they definitely steal your joy. Now, the first thing is, how often do you compare yourself with people? I feel like we live in a society where our happiness is gauged by comparing ourselves with other people. So, in fact, if you want to be happy, the first thing that you need to quit comparing yourself with others. From childhood, we start comparing the things that we get. We compare it with our brothers and sisters and friends. That is the point we hold a belief that we will be happy only when we have more than the other people. And when you compare yourself with other people, you're almost disregarding your capabilities. You're disregarding what you have achieved, and you almost measure your standards or you measure your success based on somebody else. And that I feel like is not a good thing. That's not a good thing for you. That's not a good thing for anybody out there, which is why we need to remember to, in fact, just stop comparing ourselves with other people. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to avoid in order to find true happiness. Now, the other thing that I do want to talk about is, a lot of the time, we as individuals, we tend to worry about things that are beyond our control. Okay. Do you think a lot about whatever bad is happening in the world? Do you worry about the things for them that you can do nothing about? Worrying isn't going to solve anything. Accept the things that you cannot control and focus on the parts that you can control. A lot of us worry about the place we're born in, about the opportunities we've been given, but those are things that you absolutely cannot control. So if you want to find true happiness, if you want to find true joy, well, then all you gotta do is stop worrying about the things that are beyond your control. Instead, focus on the little things that you can change in order to alter your situation. Okay, I feel like in this world that we live in, every single person plays their own part. The universe, the higher power that you believe in, has a plan for everyone. You just got to focus on your part. Play your part well, figure out your reason to be alive, and be happy. Don't try to control everything in life because, trust me being a control freak, something that worries me a lot is when things are out of my control. But when I started to realize that there's always going to be things that I absolutely cannot control, life just tends to get so much easier. So, stop trying to control everything because it will definitely destroy your happiness. Be flexible, almost like water. Water, if it's a stream, it faces rocks, it faces hardships and challenges, but it will adapt and continue to flow. And that's what I want you to achieve in your life. If you can be flexible like water, if you can understand, acknowledge the fact that you can't control everything in this world, but there's a reason why you're here and there's a part that you're supposed to play, when you figure that out, you are going to find true happiness. And I believe if you don't figure that out, no amount of money, no amount of fancy luxury cars or houses is going to allow you to be happy. So, definitely, one thing that you need to avoid in order to figure out happiness is to stop worrying about things that are out of your control. Lastly, I want to remind you to be thankful for what you have. It could be as little as a roof above your head or one meal a day. But remember, like I always tell you, there is somebody out there that envies you for the type of life that you are living. There is somebody out there that envies the fact that you have a roof above your head, that you have the basic necessities of life. So, if you have the most basic essential things to carry out your day to day life, make sure that you are thankful for that and that you are appreciative of that. Don't forget to admire the life that you have been given. Appreciate the beauty around you. Tell your family how much you love them. Go outside and enjoy the view and be thankful for another breath in your body. And I feel like when you start to be appreciative of these things, naturally life just gets so much more fulfilling. And you start to see the positive aspects of life. And I guess that's what we're trying to do here at Relax Radio. We're trying to make you see the positives in life because trust me when I say, no matter how hard life may seem, there is so much to be thankful for. Now, with that being said, we have a lot more to talk about. We have a lot more good conversation coming up. So make sure that you keep it tuned right here on Relax Radio.